Hi everyone. So I'm here today to talk about how KBC does enterprise task management right inside Jira. And as Cristiano said, my name is Vitor. I'm here with Cristiano, and we are from Adaptavist. So we are based in London, and we are solution partner for the Atlassian ecosystem. So first things first, a quick introduction about the KBC Bank. So KBC is a huge bank here in Belgium and one of the biggest banks in Europe as well, and they have about 11 million clients, so huge numbers, and 40,000 employees. So we are talking here about a really big company. And besides Belgium, they are in other countries as well, like Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Ireland. And actually, we have some friends from KBC here today, like Herman, that helped us through this whole... Actually, Herman led the whole migration inside KBC, so we are always working together with Herman. And yeah, if you want to ask some questions for him, we'll be around after the talk as well. So KBC's vision is nothing more than to be the reference for bank insurance in all of their core markets. So it's a really huge vision, and as you can see on their values, they basically focus on clients, having a sustainable growth, and provide a high quality service and solutions. And so that is the, Herman always says that testing is in their DNA. So by the way, they designed this logo for the testing community, which is quite nice. So they say that they test early and often, so throughout the whole development cycle, and so shifting left the tests, okay? Test together as a team and smart as well. So we need to focus on prioritize the test cases as most matter, and also do some risk analysis and everything. So yeah, I really like this logo. And a quick introduction to Adaptavist as well. So as I said, I am from Adaptavist, and Adaptavist is an enterprise and platinum solution partner for the Atlassian ecosystem. We are based in London, and we are one of the biggest solution partners of Atlassian in the world. We have some offices in the US and Canada as well. And we have about 22 apps or 22 add-ons for Jira in the marketplace. Some of them are really top selling, like Script Runner. So probably if most of you use Jira, you know about Script Runner. It's very powerful for customizing Jira. And of course we have content formatting for Confluence and task management for Jira, which is the one I will focus today. The task management add-on. And well, the Adaptavist task management add-on for Jira is basically an enterprise task management solution for Jira, and it's available for Jira Cloud, Server, and also the data center deployment. So we kindly call it ATM. So now we are probably thinking that probably KBC has acquired our product because we are an ATM, but it's not this type of ATM I'm talking about. So yeah, you know, usually people like to joke about this. And so jokes aside, why don't we just use plain Jira for doing task management? What's the challenge of doing that? So Jira is a tool that everyone loves and uses, and natively, Jira is meant to be a task management and a project management tool, quite generic, which you can customize by using add-ons. So, of course, you can do some process management as well, or some generic process like HR. So yeah, of course, people can be creative and create custom workflows and issue types for task management, or maybe building some Kanban boards. But it's not a proper task management solution. It might work for small teams, but when you are working with large teams and you need some specific features for task management, you will not find natively in Jira. So if you need a test management solution, you have basically two different options, right? So you can search for an app or an add-on in the Atlassian Marketplace and extend your Jira. Or you can use standalone tools, such as HP Quality Center or other standalone tools. And each approach has its specific benefits. So if you choose by using an app, so you have native integration, and usually it's an affordable application as well. I mean, the Atlassian Marketplace, the whole ecosystem is quite affordable, and you can customize the way you want. So the whole solution will be more affordable. But usually you find some add-ons with some basic some basic features. On the other hand, we have standalone tools. So standalone tools tend to be more feature-rich because they are more specific for test management. But usually they have poor integration with Jira because you have to integrate with some connectors or API. So it's kind of an offline integration. It's not tightly integrated. And usually these tools are expensive as well. And also you need to manage users on another tool, manage groups and permissions and everything, and go to a different tool every time you want to do some test management. So we used to say that ATM is on the sweet spot. So we are an app, we run right inside Jira, we live inside Jira, so we have native integration and we are affordable as well, but we focus on the enterprise. So our approach basically is for enterprise level features, and for users that are using some standalone tools, more feature rich, can find in ATM a match right inside Jira. So that's our approach. Excuse me. So now, why KBC migrated from HP Quality Center, a big player in the market, to test management for Jira, to ATM? So at that time, on our first conversations, first of all, they needed a single comprehensive test management tool right inside Jira. So before that, they had some test management information on QC test, on HP QC, and requirements in Jira, and so you don't have a single source of truth for quality management. And also, they needed a tool that was able to scale for large teams and in a global and enterprise context. Well, KBC is really huge and they are present in different countries as well, so they need a tool that can communicate between teams really easily. And the third point is that they needed some tool that was easy to integrate with automated tests. You know, automated tests is really a big thing, and if you integrate automated tests with ATM, so you can see all information in the same place inside Jira, so it's a single source of truth. So before test management for Jira, KBC was basically using HP Quality Center. This was the official tool, but however, some testers used to use some other tools together, or instead of HP Quality Center, and even XLS files or Excel spreadsheets, and due to the high rejection of the tool. So HP Quality Center is a big tool, but it's quite it's a legacy tool, so it's quite hard to use, and also it runs only on IE. So these are just some of the reasons they really rejected the tool. So the other point is that they found that HP Quality Center wasn't designed for a really agile approach. So it's not agile friendly. So they found in ATM an easier way to do agile testing. Also, of course, as a standalone tool, it was really hard to maintain the integration with Jira. So they basically used some connectors, but then you change something in Jira and the change is not reflected in HP in the same moment, and it's quite hard to link test cases to Jira issues or to your requirements, user stories. So yeah, it's really hard to maintain this kind of integration. And of course, the total cost of ownership. So standalone tools, HP Quality Center, tend to be much more expensive than Jira plus other apps or other add-ons from the marketplace. So why they choose ATM? I mean, they tried other tools, but why they choose ATM? So the testing community at KBC saw the value after the first very demo we did a year ago, a year and a couple of months actually. And they realized that by using a Jira add-on, that basically means that you don't need any extra tool. So you are all inside Jira, it's all the same look and feel, the same user set, the same groups, the same permissions and everything. And of course, the cost was much lower. And of course, our tool is modern. We built our tool with modern technologies such as JavaScript, Angular, JS. So it's very intuitive and easy to learn. So we really focus on customer experience. And usually we deliver features and early access version of our features before releasing new features to get feedback and improve our version. So we can be very assertive with that. Since we are inside Jira, they could see the full traceability between stories or requirements, passing through test cases, test executions, and the bugs raised during these executions. So we have reports that shows you everything. And the REST API integration for automated tests. So they found that the API was very good, very easy to use, and actually we worked with them to improve even more this API, so the excellent customer and vendor relationship. So this allowed them to integrate with their automated testing tools. So as I said, we are always talking to KBC and working together and releasing features before even launching official versions. So that's our way of work, really close to the customers. So now a bit more about the tool itself. So how does ATM provide these comprehensive test management features right inside Jira? So with ATM, you can manage, organize your test cases. You can create a folder structure as many levels as you want. You just need to drag and drop test cases to folders and organize your full test library. You see that we got the Jira blue top bar there, so we are inside Jira. And then if you go to your Jira dashboard, the first page that sprang when you open Jira, you can see some gadgets as well. So it's all built in on our add-on. So yeah, through some gadgets, you can see the progress of your executions, or some heat maps, or some reports by effort as well. And if you need more detailed information, we have also some out-of-the-box reporting, which, by the way, will increase a lot on the next release. We are working on some new reports based on user feedback as well. So, for example, some of the reports we have talks about traceability. So here you can see the full traceability between your requirements or user stories, and then link it to some test cases which were executed, and then you generated some bugs. So as we are inside Jira, you can see this full traceability from end to end. This one, for example, shows you a traceability matrix, so I can see that my requirements are linked to some test cases and the latest result of that test cases, those test cases as well. Also, a very nice feature that we have for saving time and increasing productivity is reusing test cases. We call it shared steps. So when you are defining the steps of your test case, you can basically point to another test case and reuse that test case when you are executing. So yeah, and then if you change this test case, the changes will be reflected because it's all an online integration between the test cases. We also have test case parameters, which is very handy for data-driven tests. So you basically can create different data combinations and use these parameters on your steps. So all your steps will be executed for each combination of data you have. So basically you can reuse the same script for a different set of data. And you can also create data sets, sorry. So with data sets, you can reuse this data through different test cases as well. ATM also provides version control for test cases, which is quite important for regulated environments too. So you can create different versions for test cases and then see all the differences between these versions. Also, you can track all the change history for the test case grouped by versions as well. So yeah, it's quite handy to mainly for regulated environments. Here is where we can plan execution cycles. So for each test case you have on your plan, you can assign users, assign environments, reorder the test cases, add custom fields for your test runs to add additional information to. And then when executing these test cycles, it's quite easy as well. So let's say that I have found a step that has failed. So I just click here and paste an image on a rich text field. And if I click this button here, I can create an issue right from here. So remember, we are all inside Jira, so we can trigger the create issue dialog from everywhere and create the issue. And when the issue is created, it's linked to the step as well. We also provide some flexible customization for your projects, so you can enable and disable ATM, configure permissions, configure which issues have test management information, and importing. So this is how we imported from HP Quality Center actually. So basically we exported all the test cases that KBC had on HP Quality Center to Excel files, and then project by project, we basically imported into the tool because they migrated in some steps, migrating different teams at a time. So yeah, and then you can also export test cases back to XLS or XML files. We also import from other legacy tools as well. And the last point is the API. So this is how we integrate ATM with automated tests. So for example, you can use Renorex. They are going to deliver a talk. I think it's on this same room, right? Which is very nice. I really recommend you to watch their talk. It's a very nice tool. And by using Renorex, you can basically trigger requests to our API and integrate with the ATM. So by using the REST API, you can basically do most things you can do manually in the tool. For example, creating test cases or editing, deleting test cases, creating test cycles, updating test results. So that's why KBC are integrating their automated tests with ATM. So the migration process. So how was the migration process of KBC? So it basically took 6 months. Of course, it was a huge migration. They had lots of users. So we spent 3 months preparing the migration by building some scripts to migrate the data and figuring out how to map information from HPQC to ATM. And then 3 months on doing the migration itself, team by team, project by project. So basically rolling out the planning we prepared for. So we got some really huge numbers from that. So we migrated 130,000 test cases from HPQC to ATM, to 150 Jira projects, and 1,000 HPQC users. So those are really huge numbers. And what we have migrated from HPQC, we migrated test cases, test apps, and attachments. Okay, and for all the open defects we had in HPQC, we basically created a Jira issue, because now defects will be in Jira as well, and then recreated the links between test cases and bugs. Well, the target was to achieve a 90% migration, but KBC Bank hit 100% migration, so all the teams migrated to ATM. And we got some very nice results as well after 6 months of the migration. So remember that we have migrated 130,000 test cases. So after 6 months, they have 250,000 test cases in ATM and 300 Jira projects. So it's it's almost twice the number of the migration just after 6 months. So this means basically 100% more test cases and testers in ATM. So now they don't have more the rejection of the tool and some testers using Excel or other small tools. They are all using ATM. Also, in a single release in October, they executed 1,200 test runs with 17,000 unique test cases. So it's huge, it's huge. And from this release, they raised more than 300 bugs from these test executions. So you see that their test coverage is getting better and better, and now they can track all the defects and from where the defects came from. I said 300? Yeah. Sorry. I was being modest, you know. 3,000! Also, automated tests. So now they are running nightly automated tests on Selenium and HP UFT and inputting the test results back into ATM. So by doing that, when generating the reports, they can see both automated and manual test results and basically generate reports from the same tool, even from automated tests. Well, it was a 6-month migration, so lots of things happened during the migration. And we'll be around, we'll be in the booth until the end of the conference. And Herman is here as well, so I think that Herman is open to questions about how they did some specific details. And well, I really hope that this talk was interesting for you, and I really encourage you to try the tool as well. We have a 30-day trial, free trial on the Atlassian Marketplace. And I think we got some time for questions. So thank you.